first, live, local. This is Fox 12 Now.
Everyone, this is Fox 12 Now. I'm Greg Nibbler. I wanted to show you that right there because that is a live shot of Portland, Oregon. And as you can see, the weather is real nice. And I bet a lot of people are going to be hanging out, enjoying that weather here over the weekend. And that is why this segment works in perfectly what we're going to be talking about today. Again, this is Fox 12 Now. Thanks for joining us. This is something that we do on Friday afternoons, and you don't want to see me. You want to see our guests, and that's what we're doing right now, which is Friday afternoon cocktails with Julie. Julie joining us here every week to share something amazing from your magical bar that you've got right there. And I am excited to find out what we're doing here today. Julie, what's on tap today?
Hi, Greg. Okay, well, so I decided to go a little different, not just one cocktail, but I'm making a batch cocktail. So, which is great when you're having a party, which I happen to be doing this weekend. So, I'm going to do an old fashioned, and it makes about 10 servings in this bottle. And it's so simple, and it's great. You can make it a day or two ahead of time. About one day, probably. It'll keep for a good 2 days in the fridge, but I would do one day just to make sure.
I love it.
Make sure you've got a funnel.
Aha.
That's really important. Yes. And also just a bottle. I just kind of have a bunch of glass bottles hanging out. Ones with the little lids that click on are great because then you can kind of do a little shake, which is fantastic. And then, I kind of nerd it out and put a little label on it so people know in the fridge what it is. All right. So
I love the bottle. Number one. I don't want to interrupt because I know you're in the middle of doing your work, but I got to say, those bottles just make it seem classy on top of it. So I need to get some of those.
They do it. Yeah, I mean, you can also just make it once your booze is gone, rinse it out, make it in your booze bottle, whatever you have laying around. No one's going to care at some point. They're just going to want to drink.
That's true.
Okay, so first step, okay, let me also say, I usually make this in my kitchen because it can get a little sticky, especially if you're me. I'm a little clumsy, as we all know. So, just have it, or like a little wet towel close by. So 3.5 cups of whiskey. Oh, see, there we go already. Look at that. I already spilled.
That is exactly what I would be doing.
I should have used a smaller measuring cup. So technically, okay, well.
You're already better than what I would do. I don't know about
that, but we'll pretend.
Yeah.
Okay, if I go slower. My mom always said, Julie, slow down. Okay, so I'm going to wipe up a little bit of my mess. So I probably lost about a half cup. So I'm going to just grab a half cup out of my bottle.
There you go. Yeah. Instant replacement.
Absolutely. Keep it close by. Any bourbon of your choice or whiskey. A lot of people use rye whiskey. I'm such a Buffalo Trace fan, so that is what I'm using today. Okay. So you get your whiskey in your bottle. Then simple syrup. Now, for this simple syrup, instead of doing 1-to-1 like we usually do, I did a half of water to 1 of sugar to make it thicker because it's going to sit in the bottle overnight. So it was a half cup of water to 1 cup of sugar, and then I let it cool, and it's a lot thicker. So Just a little tip. You don't have to, but it definitely helps a little bit. And then you're going to have 2 ounces of simple syrup, and this is to taste. So some people use 1.5 ounces. I like 2, a little sweeter. And you can see it's just super thick.
Oh, yeah. But that's good for the overnight. That's good for overnight?
Great.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good for overnight or just for the whole day when it's just sitting in your fridge as well.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Then you've got your bitters. I'm going to do a half ounce of just your Angostura bitters. Oh, and a little tip. I took the little cap off, the little drip cap, just so you can pour it easier. So you're not like standing here doing dash, dash, dash of bitters. So that you can just pour it easier. Me too. I overdash because I can't, it's just too hard to try to control it.
Right.
And then I'm going to do a half ounce of orange bitters.
Ooh.
Yeah, right in there. And then the kind of secret ingredient, half cup of water. I know that seems weird, but the reason for this is normally when you make one cocktail, it's going in a shaker or it's going in a glass and you're stirring it or shaking it over ice. And one of the reasons you do that is not just to chill it, but the ice melts a little bit into the cocktail and dilutes it a little bit. So that will not be happening because it's going to be in your jar. So a half cup of water.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if it's going to be sitting there.
Yeah. So it's just, it helps the cocktail. You put your lid on. Just kind of give it a little, back and forth just to kind of shake it up a little bit. Make sure your lid's on all the way. And you keep going. Okay, just like that. Now, this is the part where you get to taste it yourself and you can adjust it. If you want more simple syrup, if you want more bitters, this is the time to add it. So you can just pour it over a glass, or you can just take a straw, dip it in, like they do in the bars.
Uh-huh.
That's delicious. Okay, so we're keeping it that way. And then you just get a cup of ice. You can use just regular ice, or you can use a big ball or a cube, the cocktail ice, the fancy ice. And you just pour some in your glass. And then I like to add a nice dark cherry and a slice of orange. I sliced it a little thick, but yeah. And then you got a nice little old fashioned.
I love this. That you could just, get it all. I never even thought about that, like getting it all made beforehand, the day before. That way.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead. No, I'm amazed.
Well, yeah, and the great thing is then it just goes in your fridge, and you can set up next to your fridge or out at a bar somewhere. Like this will probably be in a bucket of ice with other things tomorrow outside for my party. I'll have a bowl of the cherries. I'll have a bunch of sliced oranges, glasses, and a little ice bucket. And I might even write a little note, a little chalkboard note or something. Hey, and boom, then you're not the bartender. They'll last all day. And if you make a couple of these, then usually there's some left. And the next day when you're cleaning up from your party, you got a little hair of the dog right there waiting for you.
See, it's planning ahead. It's planning ahead.
Yes.
This is efficient, is what it is.
Yes.
I love that. So that is a great idea out there for everybody who's,
so easy.
And there's so many people that are going to be getting together here over the next weekend, and even just the rest of this summer. And to have something already made and not have to worry about, people are coming over, I got to go make cocktails or figure it out. Just be like, there you go. There's a cocktail ready to go.
Yeah. And once you make it, then you can start doing variations. Like when the fall comes, you can use walnut bitters instead of orange. You can just start kind of playing with different things, and for the seasons, just keep it going.
Yeah, we should talk about some of those when the fall comes. It's what your fall recipes are.
Yes.
Definitely.
And please pour your whiskey over the sink, apparently, because or into another bowl. Put this, and then you can take it back out.
That's hilarious, because that is one of the. I'm so bad about that, about putting anything, like if it's going into a flask or something. If I'm going camping, it's inevitably going to get everywhere. So, I understand that part. Have a towel nearby. But it looks amazing. Well, and Julie, you have so many other amazing drinks that you've made and things that you share with everybody. Can you tell everyone how to find you and watch some of your other amazing cocktails that you make?
Yeah, Instagram or Facebook. The handle is Jamato, Jamato PDX at. Oh, just not at. That was my email. Don't do that. Just Jamato PDX.
Jamato PDX.
Instagram, Facebook. There you go.
Yeah, follow along and check out all the other recipes that Julie has. And this is why I love this segment that we're doing here every Friday, because getting you ready for the weekend, something to check out, and something that's you make it seem very easy to make. So that's why I like following along with your directions.
Thank you. The point of a home bar is, you just saw me spill everywhere. You don't have to be a professional to make it fun, to make it delicious, to make it easy.
Yep. I just wish I had one right now. That's the only thing that I wish for this segment. But otherwise,
I'll drink it for you.
Thank you. Well, Julie, always good to have you on here for Friday. And thanks to everybody for tuning in. Again, this is Fox 12 Now, and this is our Friday afternoon cocktails with Julie. So everybody have a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in. And Julie, I'll see you next week.
Yes, you will.
Bye.
Cheers.
Cheers.